will be, I guess we're being recorded. And this meeting is to answer any further questions anyone has and to just show you the update of what we're doing. First of all, you can just see on the screen that is the retail part of what Eddie's Flowers will be. And the concept of Eddie's Flowers is actually vertical integration. And that means we'll also be cultivating the product and also doing manufacturing there. That way we have control over the quality of all of our product and ensure we don't run out of what we need as well. It's a great spot. The old country store is on the intersection of two major throughways, that go through northern Mass, and it's pretty well traveled. And right now, the closest retail is in Winchendon, so it'll do a lot to serve the area. I'm going to switch now just to show you what. Hopefully, if these photographs work, I'll switch to the next one. Otherwise, I'll just talk to y'all. But there we go. So, okay, basically, if you can see here, the facility is located in the intersection of the two major roads, 101, I believe 119, and the property is located on a property formerly owned by the Davids, which we took a portion of. We made enough space that in the front we will have the retail, and in the back we will have about a 10,000 square foot building, which will cover our cultivation and eventually the manufacturing. We're going to be doing manufacturing for now on the second floor of the country store. And manufacturing is not like big machines and stuff. It's just making candies and pre-rolls, things like that. It's very, cottage industry type manufacturing. There is some extraction, but we don't use chemicals or anything. It's all natural. We're going to have plenty of access, and the lighting, will be adequate to, for that type of facility. Special lighting, it really lights up the area, and we'll have plenty of parking as well. So getting to actually what we're doing in the store, we'll show you a little over, just to save you time. Y'all have been patiently waiting. The store itself, we're going to have access in the front with, controlled access. They call it a man trap or whatever they call it, is to make sure people don't come in with any weapons or any contraband or anything dangerous. And I've been an attorney for over 30 years. Before that, I was in the security business. I've litigated many bar security and other related type security cases. So I know how to make make a place safe and keep it safe. So we have a vestibule in front, and then people would come in and they can actually come into the lobby area where there'll be a big area with attendants in the middle, so that we can really show people the product, teach them what they need to know about the product before they go to the kiosk to purchase. We found in using it myself and visiting other establishments, that seems like the best way to do things. And then we would have the point of sale stations you can see on top, and behind there would be the secure vault area on the right, and going up to the top floor where we would have manufacturing. We will also have public restrooms available, and handicapped, of course, available restrooms as well. We're going to be staffed, with security at 24/7. There will be someone there for security. We intend to comply with all the regulations of the CPC. And as far as the quality of our products, I've been in the business for over 11 years. I've started other dispensaries. We know what we're doing, and we're looking forward to serving Ashburnham. Okay, the next thing is our manufacturing. Which, as I said, we're bringing the raw products through a secure door and a secure Sally port downstairs. Bring it up through the stairs, and we would have a vault where it would be stored securely. Then we would have a trim room where we would trim flour. And then up where it says processing, that's where any extraction we would do. That's basically just small container vessels, roughly the size of a kitchen, of 2 kitchen sinks. It's about 8-10 feet. And the product is extracted, and then it would go into another room where basically it is refined. More alcohol is extracted from it when we process it. Alcohol, and then it's basically in a honey form, where then we could make it into edibles and other things. The other products we would make would be pre-rolls, things like that. You see things that are sort of like gummies, things like that. And one more picture for you. Of how it would look. We're keeping the post and there. We're going to keep everything that Bruce David so craftily and amazingly did. All of the post and beam is in there is from the property, the trees from the property, which we really we're excited about that. So I'm going to now also just mention the cultivation. Cultivation will be done in the back. It's going to be, environmental friendly. If any hydroponic growing, which is with water, the water basically is recirculated. Doesn't come out as wastewater. We have on-site public water supply, which means we have a large enough capacity water supply right on our property to do whatever we need to do. And it doesn't, like I said, it's closed and contained, so we don't use a ton of water in the manufacturing and in the cultivation. So, and of course, our retail store will be open normal business hours, usually from 8 or 9 in the morning till 8 or 9 at night. And will be a good presence for the area too, because it's shown that where dispensaries and adult use stores are, the area becomes safer. Not that the only gunshots you have to worry about up there are hunters. I come from Springfield, it's a little different. But if we have any questions now, I'd be happy to answer them.
You can go ahead, Elizabeth. You can unmute yourself.
Hi, so my name is Liz Schneider. I purchased 9 Ridge State Road from James Hancock back in January. This is actually the first that I've heard that there's a dispensary going in pretty much next door. I'm a farmer myself. I had plans for my property to open a community farm, to do a lot of community outreach, education for families, to be a place for people to come and gather and eat clean food. I'm a no spray farmer. I've been doing this for almost 20 years full time. I'm really concerned about, it's all fine and good for you to have security and safety at your location, but being right next door with the desire to do educational outreach with school age children directly next door, I don't think that's going to be something that I'm successful at with that going on there. My other concern and question is, we're very close to the New Hampshire border. And New Hampshire has not legalized marijuana. And I'm just wondering, are we going to be bringing in a lot of people into our town that don't really have a lot of care and concern for the law?
Well, I wouldn't. Well, I know New Hampshire's motto is "Live free or die," but they're pretty much law-abiding citizens as well. There's nothing, as you know, from the other places in other part of the state. People can come in from out of state and purchase. The problem is, that's federally, they're not supposed to be transported somewhere else across state lines. But as far as being legal, you'd be surprised. I mean, I don't know if you looked at other adult use stores. things like that. I mean, there's liquor stores that are busier. You're not going to really notice it there. Its footprint is very user friendly, and I deal with kids. I've been dealing with kids for years. And medicine. I own a store in Springfield, Mass, where we sell CBD products, and I work with other companies. A lot of our clients are kids, even medical marijuana. It's medicine. It's not, people call it. We don't call it recreational. It's adult use, and a lot of adults don't want or can't get a medical card, and they use it for medicine. So, and I think once you get to know us, I think you're going to find that we're going to be neighbors and friends, not competitors, not a deterrent to you. Part of our whole philosophy is growing, naturally, and also just involving the community. If you check me out, I'm very involved with the community. I started first aid for our troops back in 2004. Was involved in Walter Reed Army Medical Center for years, and basically, we are going to be part of the community just as you, and would be actually excited to have you guys there, and want to work with you. So.
Is there going to be, if we're doing educational outreach, especially like within the school systems, is that something I'm even going to be allowed to do with a dispensary right next door?
Absolutely, Ken. We'd love to be able to work with you some way in that. That's the whole thing about this. Is it's part of the community, it's part of the world, it's part of the way people take care of themselves in a lot of ways. And actually, I would hope we could be of help to you, and you could be a part of us in some way. It's not the big bag drug dealers coming into town. This is a whole new way of life, and it's a whole new way of medicine. So I started a website called Clinic in the Clouds. A lot of patients now are and it's being worked on right now. So if you want to look at it, I'll get you a way to look at it. But it's been there for a few years. What we do is we center around patient care, and we have a website that centers around a patient group, around a patient, and all the caregivers, doctors, family members, and everyone else can sign up in that patient group. So if there's an issue with a patient, especially opiate patients, things like that, or patients with cancer, patients alone, there's a problem. If they can't, say they miss doctor's appointments, immediately everyone can get a message through email and by phone with a code. Code green is get a hold of everyone or whoever right away that calls you. Code blue, green, red, blue is there's an issue. We need to talk pretty soon. Everyone needs to get together or call this doctor, whoever. Code red is everyone get on the Zoom meeting on our site right now. We need to deal with this patient, and that really had helped and is helping patients, basically not fall through the cracks. So the whole medical marijuana thing too is, we brought psychiatrists and medical doctors together before medical marijuana came around. Psychs and medical doctors would not even talk to each other. It was really crazy. We started a doctor's office in the in the Pavilion building in Springfield. It's a round building, and there was a MD across one way, a psych on the other way, and they wouldn't talk to each other. Finally, we realized, this is all, it's called community care. It's called complex care, where you guys got to talk to each other. And so that's what I'm saying. It's really changing the way doctors and everyone does business. It's not necessarily, a bad thing. It's actually a really neat way of life and brings people together. So kids actually know we deal with kids all the time. This is not something, it's like the French and wine. Kids learn to drink wine or whatever when they're younger, to have a few sips. It's there to help them live longer, not to get drunk on. And, marijuana and stuff is there for a reason. And kids should be exposed to an early age and understand its benefits and understand and get an education on drug abuse as well. So I think we could all work together, and I'm pretty sure I'll be able to show you that.
Okay, so just to be clear, you're advocating for serving folks coming in over the border from out of state, including underage children?
Oh yes, no, yes, we're gonna serve, absolutely not. I mean, I don't, you know, don't in any way. First of all, we're not in a commercial store, we're medical marijuana. You would then, you know, have the issue of you have underage children. No, we're serving adults. You can't not serve one just because they're from another state. You know, a lot of states, Colorado, people there go on marijuana vacations. So it's up to the state police and everyone to enforce the federal laws and their state laws. But, you know, what I'm going to look for, and I'm very, very serious about this, is, you know, those people you're talking about, people looking to divert marijuana to get it in quantities to other states. And that's not going to happen. We're going to know who's what. You know, this retail stores I've opened, we get to know who's coming in and stuff. And you can tell, you know, who's there and who's, you know, who's there for their personal use or medical use and who's not. That's a really good concern that you guys had, is the out of state thing. But, you know, I really think you're going to find it's not as big a scary a thing. It's just, you know, a lot of what we've seen with other, there's just been no real issues with other, you know, other facilities. And we really, you know, Ashburnham's a small community, and, you know, it's some neat people there, and we want to actually have the whole community involved. And we're not going to let people start diverting marijuana, buying marijuana to bring it across state lines, or you know, bringing near to goods from New Hampshire. But, you know, you do get people in this state. One of the things that the states are getting marijuana, you know, the programs for is the income. And, you know, one of the ways of income is out of state visitors. So it's not a bad thing, but we do got to definitely watch out for those that are there for their personal gain and not for what the purpose is. So, and no, I'm really excited and interested to find out what you guys are doing. And I really, once you get to know us, you're gonna see that we're gonna be good neighbors, and a lot of positive things will come out of it. And I actually produced a kids TV show for a gentleman who owns a farm in Enfield, Connecticut. It was called The Farmer Rick Show, and we won several awards. And I've been involved with kids for a long time, so we'll bring Farmer Rick up. You'll see how we are. We're good people. So.
Does anyone else have any questions? Go ahead. Lachelle.
Hi, first I'd like to say, Elizabeth Schneider, it's very nice to meet you. I'm just over the hill from you. Hi. Yeah, I was on before when you gave your outreach meeting last year. So I do have a lot of the same questions and a couple more. So I'll start with the issue that you brought up initially was that there's no place close. You have United Cultivators in Ashby, probably 5 miles down the road, that sell everything. They have advertisements online. They're a regular store. And they're probably not 5 miles right down the same road from you.
Okay,
So,
well, I don't know. They're a retail store.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. You can go online and look them up, and you'll see all their little advertisements and asking you if you need your supplies for the holidays and all sorts of stuff. And they're 5 miles down the road, the other side of Ashby Center. Okay,
well, that's great. I hope, you know, more open.
Well, how many do you need in one place? All right, but I just wanted to point that out, that there definitely is that close, another facility. Sure, that I believe they do everything there. It's United Cultivators. So I think they were brought up before. Then on the New Hampshire issue, I think we've gone through this kind of thing in reverse with the fireworks, where we can't buy them in Massachusetts. So the fireworks place is set up right over the border. So what do you see happening? We have a lot of fireworks around here. Yeah. I'm sure they're getting them somewhere. Okay, but my major issue that I'm really most concerned about is the water.
Yeah.
Because that property drains into Billy Wad Pond, which goes to the Sahegan River, which covers a lot of territory. We talked about that before. And your
We will-
public water supply is a well, a private well, and I had brought up before whether this would affect wells in the area.
No, we're gonna have enough water to do with what we need. It's not,
But I think back at the last meeting, you thought maybe the town would have some input on how it would affect local residents, neighboring residents. Did you get any input from the town on that as far as wells go?
well, everyone seems to feel it's, it's gonna supply what we need. It's not a crazy.
I know
amount
it's
of water.
what you
It-
need, but is it going to drain everyone's well?
No,
People
no,
have
it's-
dug wells around here, and
it's
I've
a-
lived here for over 50 years. I have a
Right.
dug well right behind that property, and when the lake goes low and we have a drought, my water goes.
Right.
So
No,
I can see
Well-
that somebody pulling however much you're allowed to pull in out of your well could affect me and maybe other people in the area.
no, what they looked at, the cubic feet we're gonna draw is not, it's really not gonna affect it. It's not really.
How much did you come up with? Because last time there was a question, how much you'd be allowed to pull out of that well? Somebody had brought up last time whether you could.
Well, you'll be able to, as time goes on, and we have, Lee is using the former, folks who did all the site surveys and stuff. That's being worked on right now, and
Did
depends on-
they say it was 1,100 gallons a day
I-
or something?
okay,
Something
I
like that?
can't verify what anyone said right at this
Well,
moment.
it was just brought up briefly at the last meeting. I didn't really catch the whole thing, but
But,
has the Conservation Commission given you any input
okay, as far
as
as,
far as your runoff and your
we don't really have any,
your water that you're using? Because last time you said you were going to get a huge tank and then truck all your wastewater out.
yeah,
I
we don't,
didn't see that on your plan anywhere.
okay, well, we're still working on the plans. We're just paying the architects a lot of money to work on the plans, and everything will be filed with the town, as we go along. Our updated stuff are, gonna be presented to the proper authorities in town, and they're there to make sure you guys are protected, and so are we. So, we're at a little snapshot in time here, and we're still just basically at the application stage and stuff, so we're still
So-
figuring out. Once we determine, what we have on the land to use, we're gonna determine the size of our grow. And we're gonna make sure it's not too big.
Do you
We're
know
gonna
how
set
much
it all up.
water? Do you know how much water you need for your operation to run what you plan on running?
It's not that simple. Okay, it's not that simple. It depends on how much we end up growing, and it's that how much of a facility we build yet. And we're going to determine the size of the facility based on what our engineers and our experts decide that we can use to and keep the neighborhood from being affected. And that's what we're going to do. But as a construction and planning standpoint, we're a little too early to tell you. It's just to tell you exactly, because we're still doing studies on what we have there to use with, and we're going to adjust that once we know how big of a facility we can build, to determine how much of a big facility we should build. So we will definitely keep in touch with you, and if you would like to be notified, each step, I'd be happy to do that. We're not.
I
We're not here-
definitely would, yeah.
Oh, that'd be great. No,
If I could just interject, each phase that Eddie Flowers has to go through with conservation and whatnot, it'll be posted, the meeting, and all abutters will be notified as well, just like they did this evening. So,
So,
and going forward, once the building starts, just like a home, all abutters will be notified if it was planning board or conservation, whatever the case may be.
those boards have had no input yet into this?
No,
then?
it's just like building a house. You'll come to the planning board with a plan, engineering and whatnot, runoffs will go in front of conservation. So they'll do all that as they get to those phases, as to
Okay,
what will
thank
be allowed and what will not be allowed.
Okay, I just didn't know how, the order of things, how
Yep.
it goes.
Yeah. He just has to redo this outreach meeting because it was expired by 6 months. and it's a state regulation that has to be done. So
Okay.
where the state had a little bit of a delay on their end, they're making the applicants do their outreach meetings again.
Okay, thank you.
You're
And,
welcome.
Also, if you want to ask any questions, go to eddiesflowers.net. There right now, there's a thing up. We'll have a bunch more information up. We just, we're actually redoing all the new stuff we just got today. But
Okay.
you could ask a question, go to eddiesflowers.net. If you want to contact us any day of the week, just send a question there and we'll get back to you.
Okay,
Eddie
all right,
Flowers.
well, so probably a lot of this stuff then will come up at a later stage as you go through your
Oh, yeah.
process.
And I plan on, planning on moving up to Ashburnham, so I don't want everyone in the town hating. We're not gonna, we're gonna make sure everyone's happy. Trust me. I'm not gonna, even though I'm a lawyer, you can trust me.
Okay, and I'll give you two more quick questions and then I'll be quiet. I know I talked a lot last time too, but were the people that built, I have two new houses next to me and there's been a third proposed in the little tiny lot right on the corner, and I don't know what's up with that right at this point, but I think conservation was working with that. But were those people notified of this possibility of this coming in here before they bought their homes? Because they're relatively new here.
Any abutters who were there at the time were notified properly, so.
Well, they
And,
probably weren't here at the time.
well, if they were
But
here in the
weren't the
past week,
realtors aware, or the
the law says we have to notify any of property abutters, and we did that again a week ago. So hopefully they got that notice. I would hope.
All right, and one more question, and then I'll save the rest for another time. Last meeting, we brought up the, when they had proposed some kind of little motel there, they said they would have to have a cistern in case there were a fire. And this,
Yeah.
we're talking a small motel. And because there is no fire hydrant, so if anything's gonna burn down, you have to have, a business would have to have some way of controlling that or
Mhm.
accommodating that or whatever. Has any more been said about that?
Well, that comes
Because
up
I didn't see
with,
that in your plan either.
as Mary said, anything required by the town that will be, addressed to the town at the appropriate time. But,
Okay, so
they
that's,
they're not gonna
do you
let us
have
do
any
any,
idea?
not-
Do you have any idea on the time frame of how long before you go before the town boards, et cetera?
No, it should be pretty quick, as I would say, probably the next meeting will be late January, early February, probably by the time the holidays are over, we get our notices out. So, but, like Mary said, you'll be notified just like any other project in town, given proper notice and opportunity to be heard. And, we'll listen to you and we'll work with you guys. We're not from out of state, just trying to open up another one in Mass. We're here, to be good neighbors and to be here. We're not here just to open up something and sell it. So we're here to make sure we're good neighbors.
And one more just popped into my head. They're always doing this, but I did see the selectmen seem pretty happy to be having a new business coming to town. And then they have, on the other hand, their economic development that's always talking about having new businesses downtown. Did they ever suggest that you go downtown where all the townspeople that you want to service, most of them live? Because we're almost out of town here.
Yeah, well, it's up to us where we go, and it's up to also the zoning. Wasn't a whole lot of space downtown, a lot of parking is an issue. This was the best spot. It's, a crossroads where everyone is, and, it's a central junction, and, it's business wise and zoning wise, we still have to be zoned properly, and there's not a lot of options, great option.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Anyone have any further questions? Liz?
One last question too about grow lights. So 2,000 square feet of growing space. I'm assuming that's like a 30 by 96 greenhouse essentially.
If it was 2,000, like I said, we don't know how much space, we're actually gonna grow. Yeah.
Will you be using grow lights, and how many hours per day will those be on?
As affecting what?
Just a purple glow in the woods.
Oh, no, no, you wouldn't even see it. You don't see any buildings are enclosed. We're not doing a greenhouse.
It's not a
growing.
greenhouse. Okay,
No,
thank you.
yeah. I'm still considering, I like greenhouse, but I don't know what's gonna work best. Like I said, everything, economic, I mean, the environmental wise, everything else, the efficiency. Well, first, we're just waiting to determine how much space we have. We do have the septic system there and the well. So that we're getting an accurate view of what we can put there. So that'll determine the size and what we do. And, I'd really love your guys' opinion too. You guys are farmers, man. If I could pick your ear, no pun intended, corn, but anyways, I'd be happy to. That, you guys know probably a lot more than me. So well, my guys are good, but I'm always listen to farmers, and I work with several in Hadley and stuff. So we'd love to talk to you guys more about that.
All right, is there any other further questions for anyone in the audience? Any other participants? All right, I'm not seeing any. Do you have anything that you would like to close with, Dave?
Just that, like I said, we're going to be involved in other community projects, and I've been involved with veterans in one of our, main groups. I started first aid for our troops. We're going to be, working in first aid for different projects. And if anyone has any questions, definitely go to eddiesflowers.net. We're there. Get back to you right away and send me your contact information so, we can work along with you guys through this process.
All right, thank you very much. This the presentation will be online probably within a day or so. If anyone has any further questions, they can either give myself a call, Mary Calandrella, 978-827-4100, and I'm an extension 109, and that is the town hall. Thank you, everyone. Have a good evening.
Okay, thank you very much, everyone.